Hi everyone. I hope you're doing great. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you and your families are, self-isolating and just protecting yourself from this disease. Now, during this period, I think there's been a lot of reflection. That, from my perspective, I think that's what's happening. There's a lot of introspection, and people are making these grand plans on things that they intend to do after the pandemic. And I thought that's such a good thing, actually, because then it means that people want to better themselves. And I thought this is actually such a good opportunity, even for me to just see what new plans can I make and what new things can I do after the pandemic, or actually what old habits that were really good that I had actually abandoned can I then take up during this period. And you see, just make sure that I am able to revive those habits if they were nice. So I figured, instead of coming up with a new list of the things that I want to do after the pandemic, which is actually a good thing if you don't have a list, but for me, I turned 30, yay, 2 years ago, and with that came a lot of reflection. I think something just switches. I don't know, there's a light bulb that just goes on in your brain when you turn 30. And the things that were considered heavy, and I don't know, the things that just gave you sleepless nights no longer do that. And I think for me, that is what happened. So when I turned 30, that was 2 years ago, I came up with this grand list of 30 things, 30 lessons that I've learned and things like that. And I shared that list on social media. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go to my phone, my Facebook page, and I'm going to pull out that list. And for me, that list is going to guide what I'm going to do after the pandemic. I'm not coming up with new plans. We already have a plan. We just need to implement it. That is my theory. So guys, please consider subscribing to my channel. It will make me really happy if you subscribe. Also, comment and like my videos. What are you doing? I think you need to list below some of the things you are doing right now and the things that you'll do differently after the pandemic, because, man, we've been through the most. So I had put that list in my, can you see that? In my, where is it? See more. I posted the list on my Facebook page, Helen Gessa. If you can't, please go and follow me there. Yay! Thank you. I'd put that list on my Facebook page, and I just went there, and maybe we should just take this time to go through each of them, because I also consider these YouTube pages, these YouTube videos that I'm shooting, as, constant reminders of the things that I want for myself now and in future. A library of sorts, if you may. So I think I'll just start. They were 30. I titled them 30 lessons as I turn 30. And number 1, I'll be reading, guys, so sorry. Your 20s will go by so fast. Try and make the most of it. How true is that? You blink like this and you're 30. And I think when you're in your early 20s, 30s looks like it's so far away, and those 30-year-olds are so old and things like that. But when you get into the motion of things, maybe you're in campus and you're settling into your first job and things like that, time moves on so fast. You blink and you're 30. So I think even the same thing could apply with your 30s, because just the other day, you see, I wrote this post January 8th of 2018, and it's now 2020. We are in May of 2020. So time is actually running. So maybe I'll be making the same comment when I turn 40, that my 30s just flew by. And which is something that I really don't want. I want to be so intentional, and my intentionality will come with such kind of reminders. So just know that time moves on, flies by. Actually, that's what happened. It flies by. It just takes off and leaves you there wondering, what happened? Where did the time go? Oh my God, I've not done this, and things like that. And you don't want that to happen. Number 2, be your number 1 cheerleader. Oh my God, this is just, I don't know where my mind was, but I just came up with these great gems that I'm just feeling so proud of myself right now. Because people will love you, but you need to love yourself so much that you cheer yourself on. Because sometimes the journey that you're on, not very many people understand. And because you're the vision bearer and you're the one who understands where you're headed, it's important that you just cheer yourself on. And I had a rejoinder there. I said, there is so much criticism and negativity out here. Don't let yours be one of them. Self-criticism. It's also important, but it should be positive criticism. So that was a good one, number 2. Number 3, call your mom every so often. I'm going to call my mom after this, finishing recording this video. I'm going to call her, and it's something that you should also do. If your mom is still around, it's such an important relationship, which I think you should be able to cultivate it. So call your mom and talk, and because mothers are just wise and they pray for us and they love us, that's if in your good relationship. I also understand that there are people who are in toxic relationship with their mothers. So if it drains you, don't bother. But if it's something that uplifts you and just makes you happy, please call her. So the rejoinder that I did there, I said, I'm told good toxins are transferred during this conversation that helps you calm down and think positively. Could be true. Number 4, save some money. Wow. Oh my God. How true. You know, like you settle into your first job and you're like, oh man, I'm not being paid enough. I can't save. This is not enough for all the needs that I have and things like that. But saving is so important. It is so important, guys. I'm going to actually shoot another video on just issues of money and whatnot. So for me, I think this was so timely. And saving should start with your first job. That's my biggest regret, actually. I started working full-time when I turned 25. But I can tell you, I didn't start saving then, because I was just like, this money is not enough. I need to buy new furniture, and I'm just settling in, and this, and I need to give money here and there. And you see, if you do that, then the responsibilities just keeps coming in. But the lessons that I've learned and the things that I do now is that I prioritize savings. So when the income comes in, I take care of debt and then I take care of savings, which I think is a very good thing. So the rejoinder there was, being broke is painful and can make you do things that you will regret. So true. Number 5, quit that job, a bad boss or work environment that is like a bully in the schoolyard. They can have lifelong impact on you. That is so true. I've changed jobs now 3 times. So this is my 3rd working environment, I think. And I wouldn't even hesitate to change jobs now if I get a bigger and better opportunity. So I'm not afraid. You know that thing they accuse millennials of, that we don't have that ability to stick into a job and stay there for 5-10 years. I think nobody forces you to stay there for that long if it is not growing you, if it is not in line with your vision for yourself. So as long as there's an opportunity to grow in the next job, I'm all for it. Number 6, have friends across the board, seniors as well as peers. That is so true. Just diversify your friends. Make sure that I think you can have one best friend, which I also do, but you can also have different, you can compartmentalize your friends so that you have friend X to talk about particular things, and you have friend Y maybe for career growth and development and personal development and things like that. Then you can have friend Y who is just concerned about finances and we want to save money and we need to do this. Then you can have, I don't think that's a bad thing. So, but as long as you just categorize them, and then you can have this one great best friend of yours, forever friends. They call them that. Number 7, go to church every so often. Churches are closed now, but I think once this pandemic is over and we resume life as we used to know it, that's such an important thing. Just making sure you take care of your spirituality and your connection with God and things like that. Let me sit back. Guys, can you still see me from there? Yeah. So number 8, crying is good. Let nobody tell you otherwise. Wow. I've not cried in a long time. I think in 2019 I've not cried. But I used to cry a lot. A lot. And I don't condemn anybody for doing it. But this one advice I was given, I think in my 2nd job, one time I had this difficult day at work and I went to the bathroom and I was crying, and a colleague from a different department came and found me crying in the bathroom and was like, no, So I don't know, this criticism, but I think if you're in a safe space, for example, your home, you can just bawl as much as you want. I don't think it's a bad thing. Try and finish your studies. This I was talking to myself because I had 5 years to finish my master's program. 5 good years, guys. It was terrible. But to my defense, I had financial difficulties initially, and then I had a project difficulty. There were just so many things. But the good thing that I did is that I finished my studies in 2017. So I graduated with my Master of Laws from University of Nairobi. Yay! This is where you clap for me. So if you're doing your maybe master's or undergraduate, or you've taken up a course, just make sure you finish it. I think there's even something in the Bible about finishing what you start. I think God likes that. Number 10 is forgive your dad. Life is easier that way. I don't think I'll delve into this so much because I lost my dad on 14th February of last year, 2019. So dad, so for me, I just pray that may my dad's soul continue to rest in eternal peace. Number 11, you will have to develop friendships beyond campus. Just because you went to school together doesn't mean that you're friends. And that is so true. You know, sometimes you go to school together and people don't even talk in campus and they don't have any kind of engagement. But once you clear school and you meet in the streets, you're like, hey, you're my best friend. No, we're not best friends. Like, choose your friends carefully. Just because you know me, because they're different categories. And I think it's very... For some people, making that differentiation has become a bit of a challenge. Acquaintances and friends forever, and you know, people in your inner circle. So there are different categories, and it is important that you make the distinction for yourself. Number 12, I think. Find something that works for your problematic skin. Guys, I have a problematic skin. But I found something that works, although it's very expensive, but I found something that works. The joiner there was that there is something out there, just find it and stick with it. Yay, I'm so glad I found mine and I've stuck with it. Number 13, your mom is praying for you. Always don't take it for granted, and also start learning to pray for yourself. Aren't mothers just the best? You know, like they wake up at 3 a.m. to pray for us. And I saw this video online about, actually there's so many clips like that, where, for instance, somebody is standing near an electric pole and they just make 2-3 steps towards, let's say, a shop, and the electric pole catches fire. And you're like, did God speak to you and tell you to move? Was your mother praying? You know, those kind of things that just goes into your head. You're like, oh my God, you are here. So number 14, read. I've not done a lot of reading in 2020, I will admit. But it's something I want to take up. I'm going to read a lot of reading. It's good for you because it also expands the kind of conversations you have. It expands your brain. You know, it takes you to different lands because of the different characters that you meet in the novels and in the books. It's just a good thing. So we are number 15. Take a professionally done photo every year. And that reminds me, I'm going for a photo shoot at the end of this month for myself and my son and my husband. So it's a good thing. It's a mementos, I think, because you'll be able to look back on maybe even a decade. So you see, you're not 32, maybe when you're 40, you're looking at the photos and you're like, oh my God, who was that? Look at me, and things like that. Number 16, get someone to do your laundry, but learn to cook and wash utensils. This is so true. Like, you see, some of us, we don't have the bigger washing machines and dryers, so that laundry has to be done by hand. And no, I'm not doing laundry. I think you need to pick a struggle. You're either a laundry person or a kitchen person. You can't do both. Or maybe there are people who can, but I can't. So for me, I can cook. I can clean the kitchen. But no, I can't do laundry. No. I refuse. If your salonist is taking you for granted, dump them. Nobody has monopoly over your head. I don't know what was happening during this period. I think I'd fallen out with my salonist. I really don't know what was happening. But now I'm in a good space. You see my hair? I think I have a good person. We have a good relationship going, that is. Number 18, find and maintain your poison. Can you see that? Find and maintain your poison. Do some research, general reading about it. That I meant with the alcohol that you take. You can't just be somebody who is, oh, gin and then wine and then beer. You know, like, find something that works for you and stick with it. I'm not encouraging a drinking culture. I'm just saying, for those days that you just want to sit and chill. My son is crying in the other room. Can you hear? Settled. Let's proceed. Number 18, your friends will fail you. They will miss your graduation ceremony. I think I was addressing a specific person, but we squared things out. Now we are good. We are good now. Number 20, find your favorite Java or at cafe and your favorite spot in it and your favorite meal on the menu. I think here I just meant like have your favorite spot. You know, that place where once you've had a terrible day and you just go in there and sit and you're like, oh my God. You know, it helps you calm down. That's what I meant in that. Number 21, trace your lineage. Find out your maternal and paternal great-grandparents. Name them and name and occupation. I've tried to do this. You see, now because I have a son, it's very important for me that he knows who his grandfather was, who his great-grandfather was. So his birthday is coming up on 26th of this month, May 2020. And I'm going to put everything in writing and then I'm going to put in a box which I will hand over to him when he turns 18. Yay! Number 22, imposter syndrome is real. But I think I've learned some mechanisms or some ways of trying to deal with the imposter syndrome. And one of them for me is just talking to myself. So when I get into a situation and I feel like, oh my God, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I just start addressing yourself as, Helen, you can, Helen, you can, Helen, you can, Helen, you can. Like speaking to my mind, and then I'm able to calm down and just get into the swing of things. But imposter syndrome is real. Sometimes you feel like you don't belong into the space. So you just like, I belong here. I worked so hard to get here. I deserve to be here. You know, just giving yourselves words of affirmation. I think it's very important. For me, that works. Number 23, be inspired by other people's achievements and success, but don't be jealous. How true is that? I think jealous is such a wasted emotion, because then you're not able to do anything. But if you revert that energy into yourself, maybe you'll be able to propel yourself and reach the standards that you actually admiring in the other person. So for me, this is very important, because there are people that I greatly admire. And you know, sometimes, especially when you're in your 30s, there is that pressure to be to have achieved certain things in your life. And if you haven't, then you're like, oh my God, so and so has this and this and this, and they're in my age bracket and I don't have. But then you're able to calm that bad emotion down by acknowledging the achievements that you've actually had in your life. Number 24, your greatest competition is the person in the mirror. Stay focused. I don't need to say anything about that. You are your greatest competition. Like, you want to outdo yourself, the things that you did yesterday, and get better today and even get much better tomorrow. Number 25, you can never have enough shoes and handbags. True. Very true. Number 26, stay alone even if for a year only. Number 27, send money home. I think it's important because you're supporting your folks. Then wake up early. Then travel. Travel is so important. I think I've seen a lot of the people living online right now. Everybody's talking about travel and the places they'll go and the places they've always wanted to go but didn't have an opportunity to go. I think this is very important. I'm also going to take up that because I also like traveling. And my biggest destination that I really want to go, maybe not this year, maybe next year, is Lamu. Wow. I've been to Malindi, but I think Lamu is just, from the photos that I've seen and what I've read about the place, I want to go to Lamu. Lastly, number 30 is find love, or rather let love find you. Fall head over heels with someone's son or daughter. I'm told it's a beautiful thing. How true is that? I'm married. I found love. So I am settled. I'm settled. So guys, those are the things that I wrote when I turned 30, which I think some of them still stand up to date. You see, things like save money, travel, imposter syndrome, those are things that I still struggle with. So instead of coming up with new resolutions during this period, I'm just going to go through this list and pick out some of the things that I've not been able to achieve and see if I can work on them. I'm sure even you can also they advise against touching your face, but wear a mask. So I think for you, the things that you really desire to achieve during this period, or the period after this or after the pandemic, so you could write a new list of things down. But I just wanted to share with you this list, and I hope some of you can get inspired from what I had planned for myself, or actually the reflections that I had for myself. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing like I had mentioned earlier. It will really make me happy to grow this channel. And thank you so much for your support, and bye.